No, we are live. I was expecting music to hit.
I was like, "Where's the intro?"
We're gonna hit the music. I am joined tonight by Shiv the Curry Thunder, and we got Doug joining us. But first, let's get the music going.
Agility from the champion. Oh, deep six. That could be.
We are live, everybody.
We're
Let's
live,
forget the
pal.
music. I don't even know what buttons I'm hitting. This is Thursday night. I am joined by Doug and Shiv. We're gonna be talking to AEW All In. We have a huge pay-per-view coming up this Sunday, biggest pay-per-view. But first, let's try this one more time. No, there's no intro
No.
tonight. Forget it. Let's go.
I
All
feel
right.
like Vampiro right now. Someone play my freaking music.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. This is
I'm the champ. Hit my
this is
music.
definitely getting yeah, this is definitely going to be on our top of bloopers. Anyhow, we are live and we're gonna talk AEW All In, but first we're gonna touch up on AEW Dynamite. This show was decent for a go home show. It was a little underwhelming. It had a couple good moments weaved in and out of the show through the night, but a little bit of an underwhelming show. AEW definitely in weeks leading up to this week definitely gave us some great moments and great builds, so there's no denying that. So regardless of last night's Dynamite, I'm looking forward to seeing AEW All In on Sunday. Unfortunately, I might not be watching it live, so no spoilers. I might have to start this thing at 3, 4, 5, or 6 o'clock at night. Who knows? Anyhow, needless to say, this weekend's gonna be good. But then we also have NXT Heatwave combating. I wouldn't say combat. Maybe I guess it's combating if a WWE intentionally put this to run against AEW All In, because NXT starts at 3 o'clock and basically runs till about will probably run till about 6, which is basically going to be the last 3 hours of AEW All In, as AEW All In starts at 1 p.m. But needless to say, we got AAA on Saturday. We got a pretty decent card for a Collision. One little last builds going into All In. But Shiv and Doug, I'm gonna turn the wheel to you guys just a little bit here. Shiv, I wanted to ask you what you thought of Will Ospreay's promo that opened up Dynamite on Wednesday, because it just seems to me that the whole build for the last 9 months has been about Will Ospreay's journey going into this moment, kind of like between WrestleMania 39 and 40. It was subtle seeds, and as the year went on, it started turning into Cody Rhodes' journey leading up to WrestleMania 40. We didn't see as much of that leading into 39, but from WrestleMania 39 to 40, we saw that journey. So I'm seeing the same thing. Like, this has been about Will Ospreay's journey for the past year. I feel like this pay-per-view and where it is, this is built for Will Ospreay to be our new AEW World Champion. But your thoughts on this segment that we saw last night to
You
open up
know,
the show?
it was they were in Scotland, so they did he played it up to the home crowd. He gave a lot of respect to the legends that were there, which is dope. Always dope to see that, because that normally doesn't happen, right? But again, yeah, he gave Kenny kind of his flowers a bit, and mentioned Kenny getting personal about his son, and how that's made it kind of really a little more, you cross the line there. And so, again, with Kenny not being there, it was just kind of like, so I'm hoping Collision leads something. But yeah, it would just kind of, they had some really great segments leading up to it. You know what I mean? Like the interview was dope. The slapping in the ring was dope. I just felt this was kind of, again, I'm still stoked for the match. Don't get me wrong. Like I'm going to be excited for it because they're 1-1. So this is it at the biggest stage for AEW.
So how'd you feel about the opening segment?
I thought it was fine. I agree a lot with Shiv. I think it was a decent showing back in UK. I think he did a decent job. The build in general, I haven't been super into. It's just felt a lot like Kenny Omega little brothering Will Ospreay when we spent the last 9 months trying to build Will Ospreay into the next face of AEW after Hangman. I don't think they've done like damage or anything. I still think it's going to be one of the biggest pops they've ever had when he wins on Sunday. Spoilers for what I think is going to happen later for some predictions. I think Kenny Omega has done a really good job in his role. I think as a heel, he's kind of underrated. I don't know. I'm super excited for the match on Sunday. The segment is kind of whatever. I think we've kind of run out of things to do, for lack of a better term to say, for Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. We've kind of covered everything, and we're just kind of hitting the same points. So I'm ready for the match.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like the the talking, all the talking's been done. It's time to tape up the fists and let's go. Shiv, I'm getting rock vibes from you right now, man. With because
The
your
chains and
beard
everything.
and then it covers your black shirt, so I'm thinking like in my head that you got the turtleneck going on with the gold necklace.
Yeah, I have my fanny pack too, so that would be fantastic.
So we had the finals of the or should I say the semifinals of the Continental Challenge Cup, and John Moxley defeats Claudio to advance to the finals, and the winner faces Kyle O'Reilly and Nigel McGuinness later that night, in which we saw Nigel defeat Kyle O'Reilly in a very good technical match. So we're gonna get John Moxley versus Nigel McGuinness. I'm not too sure if this one-on-one match has ever happened before. Maybe they crossed paths in the Indies a long time ago.
Right.
I
Before
believe,
2010, but
yeah, I believe Rookie Moxley took on Nigel back in the ROH or CZW days, but that would have been what 20 years ago, maybe when Moxley
Right.
had pink hair. I think that's around that time. So
Man, pink hair Mox, crazy.
yeah. Pictures arose online of pink hair Mox the other day when it was shown and revealed that Tiffany Stratton now has pink hair, dyed her hair pink, and then they showed side by sides with a couple of her pictures, and then John Moxley's pink hair, and then whoever did posted it says who wore it best. But
Well,
unbelievable.
hopefully
But
for her sake, she's not following in his hairstyle trend. Otherwise, she's gonna end up bald soon.
oh my god, bald Stratton. Um, yeah, we'll have like another Molly Holly scenario.
hey,
Now, so Nigel defeats O'Reilly. Great showing by both. Did you guys see Kyle O'Reilly's eye?
Yeah.
nasty.
He took a shot to the face, and that was blowing up like half the size of a golf ball. Very noticeable.
He looked like Hitch. I don't know.
Yeah. Mhm. I remember that movie. Yeah.
So we got John Moxley versus Nigel McGuinness for the finals, which we'll talk about a little bit later. We saw Swerve defeat Jack Perry. The match was kind of just there.
Right.
Great match, but it was kind of just there.
Mhm.
Then we had our what I believe to be our last and final part of the build of the AEW Women's Championship, which I think we can get a very good match here. We see Mercedes attack Willow as Willow is about to enter the arena. In WWE world, we would call it Gorilla. I don't know what they call it in AEW, or if they even call it Gorilla, but that's the position that they were in. Injures Willow's hand, and Mercedes goes on to say, it says her title will be gone for good come Sunday. So I'm pretty excited about that. The build has been very, very good there. Then we see Edge and Christian get into a brawl with the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks are super kicking Edge and Christian. Edge with the final spear. And they had a little whatchamacallit, a little war of words, kind of like upstaging each other. This was following the match that they had with Young Bucks and Adam Copeland, which Edge got the win for his team by pinning Rocky Romero. Apparently, Romero likes to do that slide, and then he just gets
It's a
obliterated
great
each and every
spot.
time. I loved it. So Christian comes out, party pooper, and says, "You guys will learn the difference between legendary and influence." And then says the pay-per-views were named after us, but then the Young Bucks come back and say, "Oh, well, you guys may have pay-per-views named after us, but we have a company named after us."
What a bar.
Yeah. So
That was tough.
Matt
Not
takes
gonna
a
lie.
kick in the balls. Nick gets super kicked. Cole gets speared. I'm sorry. Adam Copeland spares Matt. So we had that little brouhaha going on, and that's basically all of Dynamite, other than the MJF promo. What'd you guys think of the MJF promo? I thought that was pretty funny that we had.
Yeah, I loved it. MJF is just, especially when he gets to play in a role like this where it's a little less than serious in the main event scene and he gets to just like let loose. And Andrade has just been such a great foil for him. How is super over. Andrew El Idolo, my favorite line of the night. It got me. I think it got someone on commentary liked it too. So
I thought it was
love how
hilarious.
MJF calls this beautiful woman a 4 in terms of the U.S., but a 10 in Scotland. Basically bashing the crowd, but Andrade had come from behind and then attacks him. I loved that. That was great. Beautiful girl. 4 in the U.S. Give me a break.
I mean, it just goes to show, I guess, they have them better out in Long Island, according to Max, right? So I guess so. But it was funny. I love the fact that Max, Doug's point, he embraces these kind of roles where he kind of thrive because it kind of show more of his comedic side, more of his range, because he can bring it in the ring. And also, too, he doesn't necessarily need the title because he's a draw as is, in my opinion. And also, too, low-key, he's stacking championship reigns up, right? And so, I mean, the last one was kind of short, call it what you will, but at the same time, you could say if he wins it again, I'm now an X-time AEW champion. So there's stuff there. I think his position solidified, but it was just really funny. I mean, he was like, I can wear a T-shirt, check. I mean, all of that was really, really, really funny. And then the Andrew stuff, like you said, I could not stop laughing. It's crazy. This is the casino match, It's like,
Some pretty good stuff there. So some pretty good stuff that we saw on Dynamite, but it wasn't anything too crazy. I think the weeks prior had some better shows. And we honestly probably could have overall done without Dynamite this week. And there wasn't really too much more progression that was done. I believe the fans are ready for this. We've been building to All In for months now. And it's finally here this weekend. For those of you guys that are watching, I am joined by Shiv. I am joined by Doug. And we are going to hop into our AEW All In predictions brought to you by the Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast and Doug from Back Sports Page, bringing you guys All In predictions tonight. So let's go. I looked at the match card and I think I only saw about 8 matches. Is this correct?
We have 9 now because the trios Royal Rumble,
Right.
Royal Roulette, whatever they like to call it. That finally got announced in the afternoon today. They announced all the participants as well, so we have 9.
Gotcha. While we're
Oh.
on that, Doug, can you tell me those participants really quick?
Absolutely. So we have 6 that were named and a wild card team. The 6 that were named, we have Hangman and Brodito, the current champions. Bang Bang Gang, Jay White and the Guns. We have the Conglomeration, represented by Orange Cassidy, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong. We have the Death Riders, represented by Claudio Castagnoli, Pac, and Wheeler Yuta gets his dog face in there. We have the Demand, Ricochet, Bishop Town, and Tao Leone are in there. And finally, the Dogs, David Finlay, Clark Connors, and Gabe Kidd. And the wild card entrant, I think we all know who
I
that's
think we
going to
all know.
be.
You guys want to say it?
Swerve, and I'm going to call him the Midnight Hour. I think that's going to be their AEW name. They're going to take it from their finisher from WWE, and I think it'll be sick. We're going to get
I
Kofi
like
and
that
Austin.
name.
That is dope. That is dope.
That's absolutely happened. I was thinking maybe like they can show up during like the tag team match, title match, but it just kind of seems like it's closed off. Just really with Edge and Christian and Young Bucks, which we'll get to in a few minutes. But yeah, that mystery team right there that has not been named yet, that's got to be it.
I mean, it's going to be a huge reaction, right? I mean, I think that'll be insane, and I'm curious to see how they gel and how they mesh. The 3 of them, if that is in case the Kofi, Creed, and Swerve, that would be insane. But that's a lot of people in that match, so I'm curious to see like the setup, because it doesn't sound like a traditional match, because I think they're meeting under the arch or something to that effect, right?
Yeah, something along those lines. You know how they like their multi-man matches. I think it's going to be chaos. Absolutely. If we're doing predictions, I think I know exactly who I'm picking to win. I think we're getting a JB
It's
win.
probably got to be Swerve and New Day at that point.
I feel so. I feel like it's going to be a match, starts on the buy-in, ends up on the main show. I think it's an easy beginning of the main show, debut our guys, our new tag team legends that we've just brought in, give them a solid 15 minutes on the main show and have them raising the titles. I think it's one of the easiest booking decisions Tony Khan can make all weekend.
Dude, that's great marketing. You should definitely be on their team, because if you start that and you have that huge pop on the buy-in and you're like, okay, now I'm like even more hooked, right? Now, granted, I'm in the Pacific time zone, so I have to wake up at 8:00 in the morning on Sunday to watch this, which I'm not mad at, honestly.
Well, it's gonna be over early for you.
I'm gonna have like a whole day afterwards. It's great. No, I'm just kidding.
That's wild. Like, if you're gonna watch the pre-show, then the pay-per-view is gonna start at 10 a.m. for you. That's crazy. Be over by 3. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. What am I doing here in the East Coast? Jeez. AEW International Title. We have a 3-way match between Kyle Fletcher, who is the international champion, defending against Kazuchika Okada. Let's just say Okada, and Takashita. Who do we got winning? Who do we got winning here? I mean, I really was hoping for a nice little run from Takeshita, and we really didn't get that. He had that belt for maybe like a month, if that. So, but obviously this is gonna be a banger of the match. Arguably, could be a match of the night, wrestling wise. But who do you guys got winning?
I think that truthfully, like this, like you said, man, this has the ability to be the match of the night, in my opinion, because I mean, what Kyle Fletcher can do, the level that he's on right now is phenomenal. I mean, that rocket ship is strapped to that kid's back. But in addition to that, you look at the intricacies of Proto-Kata, Proto-Shida. I mean, and now, with the Don Callis involvement, and then does Kyle turn face here? You know what I mean? Because, like, there's the tension with him and Okada. And then now that Takeshita's back from the G1, like, figure out what he's going to do. So, yeah, I think Kyle retains, man. I think Kyle Fletcher retains. I think that somehow he finds a way to retain because I mean, unless they just trying to pop it back to Okada and then have Kyle chase him, but that's a lot of title changes in my opinion for one show. So I don't know. What do you think, Doug?
Uh, I'll say I'm 100% with you that this is kind of my match of the night dark horse. I'm biased. I love all three guys, just straight up. They're some of my favorite wrestlers. Okada's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, and Fletcher and Takeshita are some of my favorite wrestlers of the past 2 years, 3 years, something like that. Takeshita was my wrestler of the year last year too. So I I'm super excited for this. This is a really interesting match too for me. I think in a card where we kind of have an idea where a lot of things are going, this is the one match where it's like we have a bunch of different directions we can go in, and we have a lot of different like jumping off points depending on where we go with it. I'm leaning towards Takeshita winning his belt back. I think they really like Takeshita in AEW, and they're not quite ready for him to do the world title. Not because he's not ready, they're just
Right.
not storyline ready. They have a lot of things in the works and a couple people kind of in front of them, but I think another nice international title reign leading into, I don't know, maybe double or not, full gear sometime next year, something like that. He'll probably be on track for a world title, but I think he's getting his belt back here.
I think Kyle Fletcher is more ready to start soon chasing the AEW World Title because if Osprey should win, then you got to. It's I mean Fletcher and Osprey they have a long story, and without a shadow of doubt that this is absolutely going to be happening if Osprey does win, which we'll talk about later. But you know they can move Fletcher out of mid card titles and start pushing him there. Um, but AEW TNT title falls count anywhere. This is gonna be fun. Darby
Yeah,
Allin,
yeah.
Kevin Knight. When you have a match like this with no DQs, fall count anywhere, whatever. When Darby Allin's gonna go crazy. Like he is jumping off something. He's gonna do some kind of daredevil move. That's happening. I don't know if a title changes here. I think you maybe want to continue building Kevin Knight, but this is gonna be an enjoyable match. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
I think that Darby's going to do, like you said, it's a big stage. Darby's going to do something nuts, right? I mean, last year he kind of returned from Everest and he kind of dropped down to help Hangman, and that was kind of dope. This year, though, I mean, I think Kevin Knight's a phenomenal athlete. I don't like the same thing with Kyle Fletcher. I don't know if like he's ready to elevate just yet because, like you said, if there's a title change, like you're just giving it to Osprey. So I do see Kevin Knight kind of retaining here. But I think it's going to be a crazy match with some really good spots because Kevin Knight can fly, man. And so you throw that coupled with Darby Allin's just craziness and he just hates his body, I guess. I don't know, man. He must have like some sort of pain kink because I just don't get it. It's a no for me personally. But yeah, I mean, yeah, do you, boo. But yeah.
Yeah, no. Darby Allin, since he came back from All In last year, he is like patented what I like to call like Looney Tunes violence, Looney Tunes levels of nonsense with the tax to the face and then the bomb to Kevin Knight in
Oof.
the big cage match. So I'm expecting crazy stuff like that. I'm expecting some level of nonsense. Uh, I'm with you. I really don't think Darby is winning this one here. I think he's gonna do right thing isn't really the right way to put it, but I think he's going to help elevate Kevin Knight here, someone who has had a really great year and who could really use the win. I don't think his reign is done. I think dickbag Kevin Knight has some juice left in it for this reign, so I'm hoping he takes it here.
So.
We got the AEW Women's World Tag Team Title match. We have Divine Dominion featuring Lena Cross and Megan Bayne the champions, defending against the Brawling Birds, Alec Windsor and Jamie Hayter. I think we gotta go Rolling Birds with the win here. I like what I see out of the two of them. Bane has not had a title in a little. Hold on, I'm sorry. Alex, Windsor and Hater, especially Hater, hasn't had a title on her for a little while now. Again, so she'll get the home crowd pop. There's a lot of, and this is obviously done by design, but there are a lot of wrestlers from the UK on this card. I'm noticing. So it's like not every UK wrestler is gonna win. We'll touch on that. But I think we gotta go Jamie Hayter. Just leaving the geographics out of it. I think we gotta go Jamie Hayter. And the brawling, with the Brawling Birds getting the win here. What do you guys' thoughts on this? And by the way, before I go any further, Megan Bain's theme song goes hard.
Super
Like
hard, bro.
that sounds good on my soundbar when I'm watching, I have to say. But what do you guys think of this women's tag team title match that we're gonna have this Sunday?
Yeah, Doug.
I'm actually super excited. I love to paraphrase Big E, big meaty women slapping meat. I'm excited. Alex Windsor and Jamie Hayter. I feel like since the division has been started, we've been kind of building them towards like this big win here. I think it just kind of lined up that we're at All In and we have so many UK wrestlers that it just makes sense for this to be the time. Megan Bain and Lena Cross, absolute beasts. They've done a wonderful job with the tag titles. Lena Cross, especially, I want to shout her out for stepping in when Penelope Ford got hurt. Really, a lot of pressure for a debut wrestler, and she's done a fantastic job. They're going to be monster staples of the division, and I imagine Megan Bain is eventually going to win some singles titles, and Lena too, probably. So them losing to Alex Windsor and Jamie Hayter is not a big deal, and it's probably going to be a fantastic brawl.
I agree. I think that, if not the Brawling Birds, then who? Because the build for Divine Dominion so far has been so dominant, right? I mean, realistically, you have, what is it, like 5-minute challenges? That's never really good for the division with regards to the level of talent. And granted, they're Joberts, but at the same time, too, it's still tough. But the way, I mean, Jamie Hayter, former AEW Women's Champ, Windsor and, New Japan Women's Strong Champion. So, like, and I think Rev Pro as well. So there's pedigree there. So it wouldn't be like shocking at all for that to happen. And to your point, I think Megan Bain's a star. Like her presentation from just her gear to the music to everything. Like, I mean, if they do give it to Mercedes or even if they keep it on Willow, I could see Megan Bain now elevating to that and maybe Lena Cross also too. Or, the TBS title chase or whatever the case is to kind of have that, but they're by far the most dominant. And granted, it's a small sample size, but yeah, I mean, what they did for those tag titles in terms of just dominance, huge.
Absolutely. Yeah, AEW is doing a pretty good job with their tag team division for sure. Unlike the other company right now, they're kind of hanging on. But anyway, AEW World Title #1 contendership casino gauntlet match. This would take place. This could open up the show. I think this is my pick to open up the show. Because we're gonna have Jericho versus Tommaso Ciampa versus Andrade versus Mark Davis versus MJF, and once again another participant that has not been named. Do we get Sheamus in this match?
I have a different prediction of who we're getting. A different WWE cast off, which isn't really the right word to put it for him. There's a maestro that is out there in free agency right now that just entered, and
I don't know if he's eligible though. Is there a 90-day
think
clause?
he is. No, his contract expired. That's usually for releases. I think he's good. I've heard there's talks, and Prediction-wise, I have a pragmatic prediction, but my fun prediction is Ilya Dragunov coming in and making a statement immediately, setting him. You know how they like to make a big splash with signings, give him a nice big title match, have him look good and lose, and then we build them back up. I feel like Ilya Dragunov versus Will Ospreay on a pay-per-view main event.
Gosh.
Feed
My
families,
gosh.
brother.
Yeah, I think we're feeding generations with this one, so
Well,
I'm expecting him.
What's your pragmatic pick?
I think honestly, if I'm being honest with myself, I think we already have been announced who's going to win the match. I think MJF is kind of the pragmatic pick here of MJF versus Will Ospreay rerunning back the American versus international feud that they had a little while ago, and top heel versus top face just kind of makes sense.
yeah, I mean, for sure. I think so too. I like that they've done the build, obviously, between the number 1 and the number 2 entrant, between Andrew El Idolo and Big Hebrew. But at the same time, though, it's like with these casino gauntlet matches, in my opinion, I feel like there's always that wild card that we're not thinking of that either ends up winning or really shows out and then kind of has the start of something. If it is Dragunov, brilliant. I mean, honestly, between here and probably New Japan would make the most sense because he would showcase his ability to just put on amazing quality matches. Like the stuff that you should probably hang in the Louvre, honestly. And you think about the dream matches that you'd be able to have just from a pure wrestling standpoint, right? Put him in a Continental Cup or whatever. I mean, it would just be huge, right? But I hope Andrade wins, man. But then again, he's got the national title, so he doesn't necessarily need it. It better not be Jericho. I'm gonna be honest, like that's gonna suck.
I don't think Jericho and Will Ospreay will work well in the ring together.
But if it's somebody like, let's say, who we're not expecting, that could maybe offer some insight into maybe who wins the main event, right? Like for sure. Because to your point, right now, it would make sense if we're all agreeing that it's going to be Ospreay, then MJF, it just makes too much sense, you know?
How about if they do Ricochet?
He's a great heel, man.
No surprises from WWE. How about Ricochet, and then they get us a continuation match down the line, and maybe All Out, Ricochet versus Ospreay main event at All Out for the world title, assuming Ospreay wins.
I think there's a lot of meat on the bone there. I think they've done a good job of kind of keeping them separated and letting them do their own thing. But there's so much history and there's so much like parallels between their careers and also places where it kind of went off the rails, where it feels like these two guys are like pretty similar in like the best high flyers of their generation. So I think it would be fantastic if they do that.
I think that's great. Like, I'm kind of, I mean, I guess there's the trios thing, but at the same time, too, realistically, who's to say if again, and if he enters, he enters. But I think that when you look at Ricochet's run in AEW, we can all agree significantly thus far better than the main roster WWE run, right? But I would also say that before his stupid tweet about MS or whatever that got him in trouble, he was really solid. I mean, he was beating up Zach Gowen in his one leg. I mean, like that was, he was some really top heel stuff, and I think he had to kind of reel it in a bit. But no, the fabric's there for him and Will Ospreay to kind of have another amazing match. I think he'd be able to carry his own in the short turnaround from All In to All Out, you know, on the microphone, and then also with the demand and everything else, right? I think that would be really solid. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, at some point, assuming Ospreay gets the title here, at some point you definitely gotta bring Ricochet in as one of his challengers, because there's a long story there. You know they're gonna go back to that match eventually. I will say though, if it is Ilya Dragunov who just left WWE as his contract had just expired, if it turns out to be Ilya Dragunov to be that mystery opponent in that gauntlet match, I would tell you that is probably my pick to win. But let me tell you that I don't care if Ilya Dragunov wasn't always the best character or the best talker. Let me tell you, he was the WWE Wrestler of the Year in 2025. If you go back and look at his U.S. title defenses and the numerous times that he challenged for it on SmackDown, he had some of the best matches in all of WWE in 2025. So, having said that, I think Ilya is a good fit for AEW. And, you know, you're not always going to get a Rock or a John Cena out of somebody. But if you have that reliable hand and good wrestler like Ilya Dragunov is floating around in your mid card or even main event scene and on TV delivering wrestling matches like he did on SmackDown, I think AEW fans will be very happy.
Agreed.
Yep.
There are a lot of AEW fans who don't watch WWE. Let's be real. A lot of AEW fans don't watch AEW, so I think some of them are going to be a lot of them are going to be unfamiliar with Dragunov. So I think AEW fans are going to be in for a treat for sure. AEW Continental title. We have the Continental Challenge Cup final match. We analyzed the semifinals earlier in the show. Jon Moxley versus Nigel McGuinness. And I think this is the match here where we don't get a UK wrestler winning. I think Jon Moxley wins this match. What do you guys got?
I agree. I think that unfortunately, although I love Nigel, I mean, you're
I
selling
think Nigel
that
has a
ankle.
good showing.
Yeah, I mean, and that's great, right? I mean, more than respectable in how he's won. Great technical wrestler and all the things. But I mean, you've been selling an ankle injury for the last like 3 matches, I feel. And so at some point, like he's gonna. I feel like that's Moxley's way to win, right? I mean, probably just choke him out, honestly. But outside of that, in that way, it's not like Nigel lost at full strength in front of his people. You know what I mean? It's well, he clearly wasn't 100%. So I don't think this is the UK champion. To your point, I think Moxley retains. And again, his run with the Continental Championship has been phenomenal. I mean, just been amazing matches, putting people over and elevating people, in my opinion, with the level of matches, and then kind of paying respects before and after. It's been kind of dope, but yeah, I don't think he wins here, sadly.
Yeah, I agree pretty wholeheartedly. I love Nigel. I was a big Nigel guy back in the Ring of Honor days, and then Desmond Wolf. We're not gonna talk about the Desmond Wolf days, but I think Nigel has had a wonderful run in AEW. I think this is kind of like a pseudo retirement match. This is going to be the biggest match of his career in front of his home country fans, in front of one of the biggest crowds he's ever performed in front of. He's going to show out. It's going to be a wonderful 20-minute match of him just showing how much resolve he has. And then in the end, Moxley's going to continue his reign. I think the bigger question is who actually ends Moxley's reign at this point. We've kind of booked ourselves into a corner of, well, now it's kind of got to be a Swerve or a Hangman or an Andrade. We've kind of gone through a lot of the other like sentimental or, for lack of a better term, mid card options, and I'm a little more interested in what's happening after. This is going to be a great match. We've kind of been set up for Nigel for the whole tournament to have a nice little send off at home, but it's just not happening for him.
Now let's backtrack a little bit. You mentioned one of them, Hangman, as possibly be one of Jon Moxley's opponents, and that would be great. A lot of star power there. Obviously, Hangman can no longer challenge for the AEW Championship. However, I have to backtrack to about 2 matches ago when we we're talking about the mystery person of the AEW World Title #1 contendership. Is there any way that Hangman can be put into this match? Is there some kind of justifiable reason that Hangman can get into this match, or is it too soon to tell that story of how we get Hangman back into the world title picture?
I think it's way too soon, if I'm being honest with you.
I agree.
I think we pull that out of our back pocket when it's time to turn Hangman heel. I don't think we're anywhere near the need to turn Hangman heel. I think we have a lot of mid-card shenanigans, for lack of a better term, to get to. Some fun trio stuff with Brodito right now. Some TNT stuff with Kevin Knight, a former partner of his, I think is more on the cards than him turning heel at this point. Because that's what it would be. Him going back on his word is going to be the ultimate heel move for Hangman, and I think that's the only way we see him actually challenging for the world title again is a full-blown heel turn. I think it'll happen eventually. I don't think we're anywhere near it.
So maybe like a year from now, you would think.
Yeah, I think a year and a half, 2 years, something like that. I think we're kind of far away.
I know there's a perfect path for him to do this. I mean, it's been done before. If Mick Foley, Mankind, Cactus Jack, and Dude Love can all enter the same Royal Rumble, I don't see why Hangman can't be smart about it. I mean, brother, slap a mask on. You know what I'm saying? El Grande, El Hangman, whatever the case may be. You know, I mean, just again, I think that, I mean, obviously I'm kidding, but it would be, yeah, I mean, he would have to go back on his word and be a heel, or unless MJF turns face and somehow relinquishes Hangman of his obligation. Who knows, right? But again, it's not something that we need right now. And honestly, that's cool because now you don't have to worry about Hangman. It's like, oh, why isn't Hangman getting a push or anything like that? Oh, because he can't. Cool. Well, maybe he'll go challenge for the Continental or the International or whatever the case may be. And I think that's kind of good because, bro, everybody wants the championship. I mean, you should, but like, good God.
We have the AEW World Tag Team Championship match. Cage and Cope. For those of you guys don't know, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, formerly known as Edge and Christian, champions taking on the challengers, Young Bucks, Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson. I think this match is going to be between the two teams. I don't think there's going to be any brouhaha or shenanigans unless one of the teams cheat. I'm not too sure if I'm ready to see Edge and Christian drop the titles yet. I can definitely see the Young Bucks possibly winning this match though, to get us maybe towards other feuds. You know, with the, can't forget we had the Motor City Machine Guns show up a couple weeks ago. Where they been? And we have New Day possibly coming in. So to have those tag teams go against Young Bucks, who I think are probably going to win the match, that would make for some excellent tag team championship title bangers. So what do you guys think? Edge and Christian, or should I say Cope and Christian Cage, are they dropping the titles this Sunday, or are they retaining?
I'm kind of with you. I think we have so many really good tag teams. We have to give credit to AEW for putting together. I mean, WWE just kind of threw a handful of teams into their lap to do it, so it's just kind of easy pickings. But credit where credit's due. Rebuilding the tag team division, something that was so important at the beginning of AEW, and it's really integral to their identity having this many tag teams. I'm ready for the all-star multi-man ladder match at some point. I was kind of expecting it here. Instead, we got the trios one, which is just as good for me. So I think Cage and Cope keep it until we get something like that, until we get a big multi-man with them, the Bucks, FTR, MCMG, and Midnight
And
Hour.
that was
New
the
Day.
rumor. That was the rumor that we were hearing for All In, but I think that could possibly happen for All Out once we have a New Day on the roster, Machine Guns show back up on TV, and Edge and Christian, Young Bucks, FTR. I mean, instantly, those off the top of my head, those are my 5 teams that I'm choosing for a ladder match. again, All Out being what, end of September, mid September.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. About a month from now.
What do you think, Curry Thunder?
You know, I
Who's winning this match here?
I think he's right. I think Doug is correct. I think that Cage and Cope hang on just a little bit more. I think they get a huge pop there. You can just imagine them all singing, serenading Adam Copeland with his theme song after he's done there, and he's doing the thing, the old man pump up himself up, whatever, and that's dope. I think it'll be a great match, but I don't know if the Bucks need the tag titles right now or anything to that effect, but they would be putting on banger matches. I do like the idea of us fantasy booking a big, like a kind of like a 5-6 teams in a ladder match esque thing. I think it would be kind of dope to have like qualifying matches for that to kind of help elevate maybe some of the outrunners or things of that nature. Really kind of get some more shine on them. I liked when they AEW originally started. Nobody would have thought Private Party would have beaten the Young Bucks in that tournament, right? And so again, you got the Guns. You have so many other tag teams that could kind of benefit for some shine there.
There's
Rodito,
so many tag teams
Yeah.
you can easily
Yeah.
do a big tournament to see
Where's the Hurt
be in this
Syndicate?
match.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they hurt people. Do they show up for work people? You know what I mean? Like that would be. I honestly, So we'll see. I do think though. If they drop the titles, then is everybody losing their title at this pay-per-view? I mean, except for I guess Mox.
That's true. That's true. We have 2 matches to go, but for those of you guys that are watching, once again joined by Shiv, the Curry Thunder, and Doug from Back Sports Page. Thank you so much for hopping on and joining us. This show is brought to you by Back Sports Page and the Aftermath Pro Wrestling Podcast. So, we have 2 matches more to talk about. Arguably, 2 of the biggest matches, in my opinion, on the card, at least that I'm looking forward to most. We have the AEW Women's World Title match. Willow Nightingale defending against Mercedes Moné. I was a little disappointed, guys, because last week I was just a little tied up. Just a lot going on. I think it was like Sunday. I was just like totally out of it, back and forth dog sitting, and like it was over the weekend. But Willow Nightingale was doing an autograph signing like 5 minutes from my house at a nearby hotel, and I wanted to meet her because I think she's been very good. She's AEW World Title. She's grown on me a lot. I like the work that she's been doing. She is like your ultimate baby face. She's everything that you'd want out of a babyface champion. Willow Nightingale defending against Mercedes Moné. I think Willow comes out with the win here. Mercedes will not be winning unless maybe we get somebody that shows up to help Mercedes Moné win. But Shiv, what do you think? Who is coming out champion here? I think this is the one title that's definitely not changing.
Really? I'm fascinated by that. I think Mercedes.
And besides, Mercedes stood tall the other night. So usually the ones that stand tall or have a kind of like a low risk of winning. But again, you can't always go by that.
Brother, she won back-to-back Owen Cups. Like at some point, like you got to cash one of those in. Otherwise, unless they wait for Timeless Tony Storm to come back and have that be the one, I don't know. I think that there's so much there in the history between Willow and Mercedes, just from Mercedes getting hurt and having to drop the New Japan Strong title to Mercedes losing it to Willow, the TBS championship after that amazing reign, and thus started her kind of downfall with all of her titles. If not now, when? I has to be. I mean,
you know what it is? Mercedes held on to the titles for so long. She was dripping with up to 15 different world titles. And I think the fans got bored and tired of it. I just don't know if like I just don't know if we go back down that road again, and if we do go back down the road again, we can't be throwing every single title in the world on her.
No, I agree, 100%. I think that part's done, although it was kind of dope. So I was at All In last year, and then like I think she had each cheerleader have a different one of her titles, and that was kind of sick. And then I think there was one time where even for the contract signing, she had them all on the rope, and it just looked phenomenal. But yeah, no,
Good visual.
yeah, for sure. But damn, if you think about it, Willow is the only Grand Slam women's champion that they've ever had. She's won every title they've had. So
And she's just won this thing about a month ago.
yeah, and she's also like really popular, right? Like people just love her energy from her theme song to her smile, but she can also wrestle, man, and
She can work.
her hardcore matches are phenomenal too. Like don't let the smile fool you, right? So I think this will also be, I mean, between this one and the trios for the international championship, I think there's going to be some really great wrestling here.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm kind of with both of you on a lot of what you're saying. It's kind of hard to look at Mercedes and see how far away we are from her debut, what, 2, 3 years ago now in Boston. She's done almost everything. The only thing she hasn't done is win this title. That being said, first I'll reveal my biases. I am the unelected president of the freaking Willow Nightingale fan club, #1 fan over here. But she is just one of the most likable faces in wrestling. I really don't know if there is one. The only one that comes to mind is Mayu Watanabe over in TJBW. I don't know how many fans over here really watch a lot of that. That's the only person who comes to
Man
mind
knows
who is like,
ball.
yeah, that's the only person who is as likable as Willow Nightingale for me. I just don't know. We had the swerve last year already. We all thought Mercedes was going to win. We had a fantastic match with Toni Storm, and she didn't win. I don't know if we can do that again. It's going to be, she's Mercedes. She's never going to lose popularity. She's never going to lose status. But at some point, you need to add her to the lineage. And as much as I want to pick Willow Nightingale, every fiber of my being is telling me to pick Willow. I just think Mercedes is winning. I think it's time.
I could see both though, because I mean, Wayne, you made a hell of a case, if I'm being honest, because I was almost certain Mercedes was going to take this, but your perspective is now I'm kind of like, oof, I could, but yeah, because what if she doesn't win and then like she's kind of forced to do it as a baby face as opposed to this like hateable character, you know? But I don't know, man. I'm excited because I don't know, and that's the thing. If you don't know, you gotta watch, right?
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna be it's definitely gonna be a very, very good match to win. To watch. Mercedes and Willow are gonna tear it up. But speaking of Boston, because Doug, as soon as you said Boston, it kind of triggered me. But man, my Boston Red Sox are on fire. The best baseball team since the end of June. I am already booking my vacation time for the end of October. I'm booking every weekend off. I am going to be in Boston. I'm going to be on this ride, this playoff ride, and watch my Boston Red Sox march to the World Series and defeat the Los Angeles Dodgers again. They did it in 2018. I'm already booking my vacation time. Nobody's gonna see me. I'm gonna be gone. I'm out of here. Every weekend, I'm up in Boston. I'm as good as gone. I marked it on my calendar. I blocked out my job. They can't schedule me on certain days. I have sick time to use. I am gonna be up in Boston, and I'm gonna be in that parade. And I'm sure Mercedes Monet will be there too.
You know, I love your optimism, brother. But Aaron Judge is coming back. The New York Yankees are holding on. They're gonna make it, and they're gonna lose to the Dodgers in the World Series. Don't get me wrong. But my Yankees, brother, I'm sorry. They're gonna get healthy at the right time. Minus Giancarlo Stanton, who gets hurt watching TV.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say the same thing.
he's made of glass, and with Judge, you don't know what we're gonna get out of Judge. It may take Judge an additional couple weeks for him to get into the swing of things. No pun intended. So we'll have to see what they do. But the rest of your Yankee batting lineup has to continue hitting.
Oh, I
And then
agree, but
also
the
Max
pitching.
Fried is down for maybe about another 10 days or so. So that's gonna cost the Yankees two good starts right there. So we'll see, and it really all depends on how the Yankees get seeded. Honestly, I don't want to see the Red Sox having a 3-game series in Yankee Stadium. That's what happened last year. It cannot happen again this year because that's just I've fully believed that the Red Sox can beat the Yankees in Yankee Stadium this
I
year,
agree, 100%.
but you don't want to play in the Bronx. And if you're a Yankee fan, you don't
You don't
want to
wanna play
see
in
your
Boston.
Yankees playing in Boston. Boston's going to be a very, very rowdy team as they have been all year. So it's going to be very interesting to see. But I got my plans made, and let's see if that's how they if the cards fall in the right place on that. But anyway, the main event of AEW Dynamite, we have Will Ospreay challenging Kenny Omega for the AEW World Championship. And I'm going to come right out and say, and I said it in the beginning, everything leading up to tonight has been a storyline for almost a year now. Will Ospreay has been on this journey. He's gone through the hurdles. They told the story about the Death Riders. This pay-per-view, this has totally been built for Will Ospreay, and I think he is getting the W in front of his family, in front of his home country. What do you guys think? I can't see All In AEW's pay-per-view ending any other way except with Will Ospreay winning, holding up that title with red, white, and blue UK colors, by the way. Red, white, and blue confetti flying everywhere. His family in the ring, and that's how I see this happening. Kind of like a WrestleMania 30 when Daniel Bryan won. What do you guys got?
Yeah, man.
I think it's pretty much a foregone conclusion. I think Will Ospreay's pretty much taken this. Like you said, it's been built. We've been building to this moment since he debuted. It was a when is this happening? And then this past year since he came back from neck surgery, it's just been all he is the face. He is the one. Hangman is out of the picture now. It's time for the new face of AEW to emerge, and Will Ospreay has been built perfectly for that. I talked a little bit about him getting little brothered by Kenny Omega. I think that is on purpose, just to make the win even sweeter. Just calling back to their time in New Japan, how Kenny was still kind of the top dog, and he's always been kind of a little above Ospreay in a lot of people's minds. And I think this is the true passing of the torch. Kenny is a legend. Much respect to everything he has done in this business. If this is his last big major world title match at the end of a major pay-per-view, I think he's going to show out and we're going to have something special.
I think we're all in agreement here. I think Ospreay takes it just because of the build, his Death Rider situation, kind of going through that, learning like I guess a whole new side to him, and the culmination of it all, the storytelling of their time together, and Kenny did Big Brother him and kind of sunned him and never really took him seriously like that. You have the Don Callis intricacy of it all, their history there. You have the New Japan stuff. They're 1-1. I think was it Kenny won in Canada and Will won. Will won in Canada or something to that effect, and Kenny won in Japan. And so now, we'll see. I mean, I think it would be, yeah. I mean, if they did it for Saraya / Page, for it all in London, I think this is get the folks home happy. It just makes sense. And Wayne, to your point, the passing of the torch. Yeah, I mean it's kind of there, right? I mean, if this is Kenny Omega's last big like world title match, it is going to probably be one of the best matches we will ever see between him and Will Ospreay. I think it's going to be phenomenal. I still think their match at Forbidden Door might be one of the best matches I've ever seen in my life. And so I think that'll be kind of dope. Selfishly, I hope Kenny Omega finds a way to win, whether that's just he becomes a heel and sells out to Don Callis again and throws a complete monkey wrench into it. But that just wouldn't make any sense at all, just based on the storytelling for Will Ospreay. And I think Will Ospreay is going to have a heck of a run, in my opinion. Putting on, hopefully health and everything else, but he stays healthy. I think it'll be a good one.
Those of you guys that are watching on Instagram right now, it is about to time out, and it did. It's about to time out, though. Switch over to our YouTube channel to watch our last 2-3 minutes of the show. But anyway, moving on. Okay, so my question for you guys, we kind of like talked about it and integrated it throughout the show. Who shows up? Who do we believe is going to guarantee to be showing up this Sunday? I got Sheamus, possibly. Ilya Dragunov as a huge possibility, especially if he's not under any clause of 90 days. Ilya Dragunov would be huge, immediate impact. Possibly Kairi Sane as a possibility of maybe helping out Mercedes. And then New Day.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of rumors of people like almost about to, get released, or they're not happy with the company. Like Bailey, Gargano's name was thrown out there. Carmelo Hayes was thrown out there. Damian Priest's name was thrown out there. I don't believe any of them are ever true. Except for maybe Bailey. Maybe there's been some negotiations going on. But I don't think any of them are true. And I believe Bailey's staying. So I don't expect any of those people to magically show up. Not happening. But the first one I mentioned, Sheamus, New Day, and Kairi Sane, and then Ilya, I think those are my top 4 or 5 that are going to show up.
I would throw maybe Macklin. I think Steve Macklin might make an appearance as well too. I think his time with TNA is done. I think he's doing some stuff with Maple Leaf Pro, and so that would be kind of dope. But yeah, no, I think I really wish they had a casino gauntlet for the women, if I'm being honest, because that would be an amazing spot for Kairi to kind of Kairi Sane to kind of debut there. I think that would be kind of sick. And then you could kind of see who else kind of pops up as well. I'd be curious though. What if
Mercedes wins? If Mercedes wins, I think it might be because Kairi costs. I think you could bring Kairi there in that spot.
That'd be sick.
Yeah. When it comes to debuts, I think New Day is pretty much a lock. I think we know they're showing up at this pay-per-view. I think there's going to be one in the Casino Gauntlet. I don't think we're going to overload it. I don't think we have a... What was that pay-per-view? I forget the one where Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson at the same time. Was that all out?
Full Gear or something like that?
Something like that. I forget now. It was 2023, if I'm remembering right. Something like that. Yeah, I don't think we have that situation. So I think we have New Day. I think we have one in the Casino Gauntlet. I'm with Shiv. I wish we had more women's wrestling all the time in AEW. They have a fantastic division. I want to see them wrestle more, and I want to add more. Girls like Persephone and Sarie are incredible and would fit AEW like a glove. Having them on TV more would be fantastic.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because I want to also shout out and give flowers to Maya World, man. When I was in Houston, being able to go to watch some of the reality wrestling shows for Booker T and stuff, watching her wrestle, and it's kind of like this. There's something a little different, and her and Hyon really put on some good quality stuff. And then they would always get called to, like, if WWE or any of the other shows were in, like, Dallas or Austin or San Antonio or Houston, they would kind of go and be enhancement talent. But just kind of seeing her do some stuff and not have the moment be too big and kind of put on some really quality matches. Yeah, I think that's kind of dope. And Persephone too, man. Good Lord. Huge in terms of just star power, I feel like, and then believability, right? So yeah, for sure.
Well, that pretty much just about wraps up our AEW All In predictions. We are 3 days, not even. What's 2.5? Yeah, we're just inside. We're just about 2.5 days away from AEW All In, AEW's biggest pay per view of the year, seemingly. And I believe we're in for a good show. 8 solid matches, well, 9 now. So I think that this is gonna be a very enjoyable show. It's early in the day. The East Coast is not gonna be falling asleep by 10:30, 11 o'clock at night when there's still 3 matches left. Who cares if it's 5 hours? If it's starting at 3 o'clock, 1 o'clock on our side. 10 a.m. over by Curry. But anyway, we're in for a good show. 9 matches, and we're gonna have a lot to talk about whenever we decide to do this post show for AEW All In. But to Curry, Doug, thank you guys for doing this prediction show tonight. And man, we're gonna have. I believe we're truly gonna have a lot to talk about come next week, leading into next week's Dynamite. I believe we're gonna have the world title change. We're gonna be talking about who showed up. I believe this pay per view is going to deliver. Honestly, I don't think people really gonna be watching Heat Wave over All In. I mean, if not, you're kind of crazy.
Total
I'm not sure
tribalist.
Heat Wave's going to be good, but this is All In. This is AEW day for sure. So
I'm going to be eating my bootios watching this early in the morning. I think it would be only fitting to have that going, just for the juju.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh boy. So those of you guys who are watching, thank you so much. Make sure to share. Feel free to drop your comments on who you guys think are going to win these matches, and share with your friends. Make sure you guys subscribe to also Back Sports page, where you get the wrestling and all your other good sports, football, basketball, whatever your heart desires. Follow backsportspage.com. Make sure you subscribe to their channel too as well. And everybody, you guys have a good night.
Good night.
Agility from the champion. Oh, J6! That could be a delivered